In the armed conflict in Syria, Russia involved several types of troops at once. The actions of Russian aviation and campaigns to the Syrian shores of the ships of the Navy received wide publicity on all federal channels. Meanwhile, in the Arab Republic, the Special Operation Forces, one of the most secret divisions of the Russian armed forces, are also fulfilling their tasks. The faces of these fighters are always hidden, and the results of their actions remain a mystery. How does the most secret Russian Special Forces work and dress? Find out today! Hello, Newsoldier in touch! But let's make an agreement, so that our today's video is not of a narrow nature. We will consider the equipment of Special Forces soldiers from around the world. In recent years, the protagonists of television reports and photographs have become fighters from various Special Forces units performing tasks to combat terrorists. On the video and photo chronicles, it is striking that the field uniform, bulletproof vests, communications equipment and so on are different for the Special Forces. In the modern world, the segment of private production of tactical equipment and protective equipment is developing very dynamically. Even such well-funded Western divisions as the American Delta, the British SAS and others buy their favorite products for their money. After all, the success of any operation depends on uniforms, equipment and even more so, weapons. Therefore, the question is why the most secret Russian Special Forces fighting in American equipment no longer sounds so blasphemous. Back in 2014, the military-industrial courier, referring among other things to an officer of one of the Special Forces units of the Ministry of Defense, wrote that most military personnel of the relevant structures purchased at their own expense both imported combat equipment and field uniforms with shoes. The reason for this, according to the interlocutors of the newspaper, is banal. It is inconvenient to fight in domestic counterparts. One of the SOF fighters who participated in the battle in the Syrian province of Idlib in September 2017 showed REN TV reporters his helmet, which during the battle withstood a bullet hit and thereby saved him from death. It can be determined that this is an LSZ-1 Plus, manufactured by Russian company Armocom. Other helmets are also supplied in SOF, for example the Spartan series. By the way, LSZ-1 Plus and Spartan outwardly resemble the line of helmets of the American company OpsCore. At the same time, helmets are often upgraded, for example, they are equipped with mesh covers and flashlights, not to mention the installation of night vision devices and GoPro cameras. Another important part of the individual protection of a soldier is a bulletproof vest. Soldiers of the SOF, judging by the photographs, often choose modular ballistic systems. They, according to owners, provide increased mobility and wearing comfort, unlike regular body armor. The owners of this equipment note the convenience of attaching various elements that allow you to carry everything you need with you, and the ability to both lighten the system and turn it into a full-fledged body armor with the help of additional protective components. The most popular manufacturer of such equipment is the American company Cry Precision, although there is an alternative in Russia, MBSX Modular Ballistic Systems from the Ekaterinburg manufacturer RIT, purchased by entire groups of SOFs. This equipment and all its elements have indeed been tested in combat conditions in Syria and, according to internal reports, have increased the efficiency of the work of special forces. Among the advantages of the equipment, there are the comfort of use and as a result an increase in endurance, a weight distribution system and ergonomic design of the entire system, as well as its modularity, which allows, among other things, to save money, for example, without purchasing a second body armor. An inconspicuous but important part of a fighter's equipment are active headphones that drown out noises that are dangerous to hearing and amplify weak sounds, and also provide communication. In the SOF, despite the presence of a conventional headset in the army, for these purposes they use the solutions of the American company 3M, which produces, among other things, hearing and vision protection under the Pelter brand. It is the headphones of this company can be seen on the footage shown on television on some Russian special forces in Syria. SOFs use both Russian and foreign weapons, but they all undergo deep modernization to meet non-standard requirements, using equipment from different manufacturers. Thus, the special forces are achieving a significant improvement in performance and increased comfort when working with weapons. Details of the upgrades can be found on the example of the AK-74M assault rifle of one of the SOF fighters. Installed on the rifle, a telescopic buttstock and an overlay for the magazine of the American company Magpul, pistol grip G47 Israeli CAA, AN-PEQ-15 laser designator developed in the USA, collimated sight aim point comp M4S, T-Pod G2 tactical grip from Israeli FAB Defense, Bulgarian flame arrestor produced almost everywhere, as well as domestic components, the B10 handguard and the RP1 reload handle from Zenit. In most of the images from Syria, Russian special forces are dressed in American multicam camouflage. They use, among other things, a field uniform produced by Proper, one of the main suppliers of the US Army. And although in connection with the massive import substitution in Russia, they are trying to create analogs of everything, American-style uniforms remain popular and become an example to follow, as domestic manufacturers openly talk about. In addition to the aforementioned clothing from Proper, combat shirts and trousers from Cry Precision were seen on the SOF fighters. In 5 years, as it turned out, a domestic alternative from Voin appeared to foreign combat clothing, which according to the manufacturer was created for the specific tasks of one special unit at the request of the Ministry of Defense and taking into account the pros and cons of the American wardrobe. An interesting fact: in order to obtain a product with the desired characteristics, employees of special forces most often directly contact manufacturers. Let's move on to the next part of the equipment of a special forces soldier – shoes. For a long time in Russia there were problems with it. It is generally impossible to walk in uniform pieces of wood and even life-threatening, an unnamed officer told Military Industrial Courier. In the Syrian campaign, the SOF fighters were seen in a variety of shoes – Belarusian Kalahari, Lynx and Cobra, as well as in the boots of the notorious Russian company Faraday, specializing in the production of footwear for law enforcement agencies. However, some particularly demanding ones preferred foreign options to domestic and Belarusian counterparts, for example from the German Hey. Friends, what are the pros and cons of modern equipment for special forces soldiers? Tell us about them in the comments below the video. A moment comment to all. Outwardly, the uniform of the special forces is similar to the uniform of the type of troops to which it is attached. The GSG-9 unit belongs to one of the structures of the German police and has all the powers of the federal police. Its actions are regulated by the Ministry of Internal Affairs of the country. The unit consists of 3 subgroups of primary importance, a subgroup of regular, naval and military landing operations, and several groups of auxiliary, technical and technological support. The GSG-9 units are armed with the developments of Heckler & Koch GmbH, submachine gun of all versions and configurations, assault rifle, carbine, machine gun G8, AMP Technical Services DSR-1 sniper rifle, assault rifle 6 Sauer SG-550, pistol Glock 17, grenade launcher Heckler & Koch MZP-1, anti-tank gun MBP Armbrust, semi-automatic sniper rifle Heckler & Koch PSG-1. NOX is the anti-terrorist special unit of the Italian civilian police. Special forces are located in all military units in Italy. NOX refers to the Italian civilian police units. The center coordinates the actions of all special forces units, the abbreviation of which is OSSI – Operatori Speciali Servizio Informazioni. The NOX unit is armed with the latest small arms. The equipment of the soldiers of the Italian police special forces also corresponds to the perfect samples, ensuring the performance of tasks of any level of complexity. Each fighter has several types of weapons. The NOX fighters especially prefer the Beretta modification 9.2, which is easy to shoot, the updated Beretta PX4 Storm and the HNK P2000. In the arsenal of weapons of the special forces there is a sniper weapon. It is used in anti-terrorist operations. Kansovcom is a special unit of Canada formed in 2006. Main tasks are suppression of the actions of terrorist organizations within the state and beyond its borders. Canadian Special Forces soldiers are equipped with various types of small arms. Canadian-made C-16 assault rifle, C-8 carbine, The set of weapons for groups carrying out operations to free people taken hostage is complemented by weapons manufactured by Colt Canada under license. These are the HK MP5 pistol and sniper rifles. In addition, each Special Forces soldier has a personal weapon, a 6-hour pistol and FNP-90 submachine gun. SWAT. There is a special unit of the United States under this abbreviation – Special Weapons and Tactics Teams. These parts are located in the Department of the Police and the Federal Bureau of Investigation. US SWAT police forces are also part of the elite military units and have a uniform similar to police uniforms, but with special equipment necessary to perform specific operations – bulletproof vests, camouflage, shoes. In the arsenal of special units, the universal submachine gun, universal machine and pistol is used. Special Forces soldiers use the Glock 17 pistol as a personal weapon. It is a highly reliable product of Austrian design. This type of weapon is produced in several modifications. A number of modifications of the German HK USP pistol are widely used in the US Army and its Special Forces. And finally, let's find out without which things a modern commander is not a commander. But bullets whistle bullets was sung in one famous song, and for good reason. The work of a fighter is associated with a risk to life, and this life must be protected as long as possible. After all, the fulfillment of the mission depends on this at least. Therefore, in the first place, protecting yourself, which means that you definitely need a helmet and body armor. Without a weapon, it will be difficult for a Special Forces soldier to complete the task. The main firearm of a commander is usually very different in appearance from a standard rifle of motorized infantry. Here you have straps for installing additional equipment, a laser pointer, a flashlight, an underbarrel grenade launcher, bipods, front handles, and a special suppressor and a high-end sight, optical holographic collimator, and a folding butt, that is, a weapon with an additional body kit. Do you know what Special Forces are taught almost as hard as how to shoot, providing first aid on the battlefield? Each fighter of the group must be able to save the life of his comrade, stop the bleeding, apply a bandage, prepare the wounded for evacuation, and most importantly, not kill him in the process of these manipulations. Therefore, a medical pouch is needed. What else? Modern radio stations allow you to be in touch even on the battlefield, what can radically change the combat situation. With the help of a radio set, fighters can call for air support, request an evacuation, transmit intelligence and much more. In addition to all of the above, each fighter carries a bunch of useful belongings. Additional ammunition, food, water, maps, GPS, spare batteries for electronics, etc. Before using it, you need to bring all this to the battlefield, so you need a tactical backpack. And the final, but the most important thing, without which not a single Special Forces soldier of any country in the world leaves home, and even more so on a mission, is brains. After all, the coolest weapons and the most technologically advanced equipment are useless without the ability to use them correctly, at the right time and in the right place. And for this, you need to think and make decisions clearly and quickly. So the head is the most valuable element of the Special Forces equipment. That's all. Be sure to subscribe to the channel so you don't miss a new video. And also do not forget to leave your comments about what you see. Your opinion is important to us. Narrated by Maxim Nikulin for Newsoldier channel.